In this lecture, we're going to learn about nested namespaces. And this is a facility we have in the C++ programming language to be able to set up namespaces inside other namespaces. For example, here we have the hello namespace, and inside that namespace, we have another namespace called world. And one thing you should know is that inner namespaces have direct access to things declared in the outer namespace. For example, the world namespace here is going to have direct access to the age name here. It's not going to have to go through some namespace name to access that, and we can see that here. But outer namespaces have to go through the namespace name to access things we declare in inner namespaces. And if you look at this do something function here, if it wants to access this local variable here, it's going to go through the world namespace name because that's where this thing is declared. Once you know this, you're going to head over to the main function or wherever in your code, and you're going to use your namespaces however you want. One thing you should know is that to get to the inner namespace, you have to go through the namespaces. For example, we say hello, we say colon, we say world, we say colon. Then we're going to access something inside our nested namespace here. Now that you know this, we're going to head over to Visual Studio Code and play with this a little more. Okay, here we are in our working folder. The current project is Nested Namespaces. We're going to grab our template files pretty quick and we're going to put them in place. And we are going to open this in Visual Studio Code pretty quick. We're going to have our main CPP file here. Let's clean up a little bit. We're going to remove what we don't need here. We can close the left sidebar. And I am just going to put in the code we're going to play with because I don't want you to waste your time typing all these things. We have an outer namespace called hello. It is delimited by the curly braces on line 3 and line 20 as you see here. And inside that, we have another namespace delimited by the curly braces we have on line 6 and 13 as you see here. The inner namespace is called world, the outer namespace is called hello, and we have things inside all these namespaces. The outer namespace, which is hello, has a variable called age. We have a value inside. In the inner namespace, we have a local variable, which has a 44 inside, and we have a function called say something. Inside the function, we are saying just hello there, and we are trying to access the variable that was declared in the outer namespace. And we can access that directly without going through the namespace name. That's what I want you to see here. In the outer namespace, we also have another function, which is do something here. And this function doesn't have direct access to the variables we have in our local namespace here or inner namespace. To access the local var here, it will have to go through the world namespace, and that's what you see here. If you take out the world here, you're going to see that we're going to get a compiler error. Okay, now that we have this in place, we can try and use these things in the main function. For example, we can try and call the say something function here. But before we do that, please try and see if you can do this on your own. Please call this function, build and run the program, and see that you see the output here. Okay, if you have done this, congratulations. But if you had any problem, please watch what I'm going to do here. We're just going to say hello, and we're going to put colon colon. We're going to say world to access the inner namespace. We're going to put colon colon, and then we're going to call our function here, say something. This is the syntax you use to use nested namespaces, and this is really cool. We're going to build the application using GCC. The build is going to be good. We're going to bring up a terminal to try things out. We're going to clear and run Rooster. You're going to see that we say hello there, which is the message here. And we're going to say the age is age. And we're going to be accessing a variable that lives in the outer hello namespace here, and this is really cool. If you want, you can also call a function living in our outer namespace. That function happens to be this do something function here. So all we have to do is say hello and say do something. Okay, this is going to do our thing. We're going to build this. The build is going to be good as you see here. We're going to clear and run Rooster. We're going to say using local var, and that's going to be 44 here. But please notice that we are going through the world namespace to access the local variable here. If you take out this world namespace, you're going to get a compiler error because now local var is not going to be accessible or defined in this scope here. That's the error you're going to get. Let's try and build this because I want you to know that I am not making this up. This is what we're going to see. We're going to see local var was not declared in this scope, and that's going to be a compiler error. To be able to use this, we have to specify the namespace where it is living. And if we do this, now this is going to be fine because now the compiler is going to go through this namespace and access this local variable here. And we're going to print it out and see it on our console. Let's bring this up a little bit. You see the build is good. We can clear and run roster, and we're going to see that our local variable is 44. This is really all I wanted you to see in this lecture, that you can set up nested namespaces. If this is helpful for whatever project you are doing in C++, please use this facility and it is going to make your life easier. Just remember to go through the syntax like this to access things that lives inside nested namespaces. We are going to stop here in this lecture. In the next one, we're going to learn about namespaces aliases. Go ahead and finish up here and meet me there.